marble or knife.
Okay, so running a multi-trillion-dollar company and negotiating is extremely difficult. And I don't think the average person, day-to-day people, really understand what Trump is doing when he negotiates the way that he does with the tariffs. So it has the market panicking. Yesterday, the panic went away when Trump declared that, you know what, we're making all the tariff 10% and we're going to hold it for 90 days. What happened? The stock market goes up. And I'm like, damn, I should have bought some stocks. Here I am pissed off I didn't get any Tesla stocks. It went from like 215 to like 280 now. Insane. But did you panic? I should have read the Art of the Deal by Donald Trump because he got everybody panicking. In this video, let's take a look at Jesse Waters' Primetime and his take on it. The fact that now everybody's wilding out, going crazy about what Trump is doing. Every time he puts out a tweet, it shakes the market and it shakes the billionaires and trillionaires. In my opinion, you know what? I think that back in the days, the politicians knew when changes were going to happen, so they would buy and sell stocks. They knew what was going to go up, what was going to go down. But with Trump in office, even they are shook. They don't know what's going on. All they know how to do is protest Trump. Whatever Trump says, whatever Trump do, they go up against him. And it's not working. They're not making their millions of dollars. Like Elon Musk says, the people who are affected the most are the ones complaining the most. So you have all these politicians complaining about what Trump is doing, how it's bad, how it's wrong. But no, it's not. It's good negotiating. In my opinion, let's take a look at Jesse Waters' Primetime. Let's see what he got to say. I'll pause it every now and then. But my name is Noel. Thank you for visiting here at Verbal on Life. I got, 5 more days before my YouTube strike goes away. Sunday, one of the strikes goes away. I got 2. So my goal is to stay away from strikes as much as possible. So I'm going to pause this and get my opinion as much as possible. See if I could clear the YouTube algorithm. But let's see. Check it out.
Trump told you this morning it was a great time to buy. Did you listen? If you did, you're rich.
The markets right now are extremely good.
Insane. Like I said earlier, I didn't buy Tesla stocks. All my college friends, all my friends that are into stocks, they were just going crazy about the tariffs, saying that Trump just ruined the economy. He is going to sink the economy. What the hell is Trump doing? All this time, I didn't buy. And look, I should have waited to listen to Trump when he said, this is a good time to buy.
Stock market had its best day in American history. The president announced he's pausing reciprocal tariffs for 90 days on every country and dropping all tariffs to 10% on all countries except China.
You know, and that's something that politicians said they wanted to do. You know, how is it that we got a tariff-free country that anybody can sell in America and we don't make a dime out of it? So 10%, hey, is a good start. That's like what they call the floor. Then negotiating for the next 3 months, everybody's going to get hit. But look at this. China is the first one to take the hit.
China just got hit with a 125% tariff. They're the only country that lost, and they lost big. And that's the point. China.
So it's like all of this was done to take down China. You know, we got to admit, Trump is a genius, giving us a reason to say, yeah, it's good that we're taking out China with their bad products. You know, everybody knows that Chinese goods are not the best. They just want to sell. It could be great product, bad product. They just want the money.
They never picked up the phone. Instead, they retaliated. The rest of the world, our allies, wouldn't stop calling.
These countries are calling us up kissing my ass. They are dying to make.
Nobody else can talk like this. Trump is the only one who got the license to say whatever he wants. No politician talks like this. Kiss my ass. Right now, by the way, the Democrats are trying to curse. They're trying to identify with people and they sound ridiculous. They sound so fake, like they're trying so hard. And all they do is curse, curse, and curse. So for the next election, I don't see them winning, talking like shit, because we're supposed to identify with them. I don't think so. Trump is just coming off as unique, being honest. That's just the way he thinks and the way he talks.
Make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Trump created maximum leverage for himself, and now his team's sitting pretty, taking meetings and doing deals that put America first. And if we don't like how the negotiation's going, our partners have seen the kind of pain we can cause, and they're motivated to do what we want, or else we'll make them feel the same pain. Everyone said you don't want to be last to come to the table, and China was last.
We saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented.
This man is a genius, by the way. So whatever Trump implemented was on the direction of this man, of Besson. This man said, yes, yes, Trump. He's not a yes man, but definitely agrees when Trump makes these crazy decisions. So in my opinion, this is the guy, the Treasury Secretary, is the guy who came up with the plan. And it's working. He is a multi-billionaire who understands how the system works. So whatever he says right now, again, it's his idea, in my opinion. He's the one that came up with an amazing plan, and it's working.
A week ago today, it has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the course until this moment. And what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they're in this very spot, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you.
This was a test. If you called, you're an ally, and we fly you in for a trade summit. China didn't call this morning. They retaliated with an 84% tariff on American exports. And that told us exactly who they were, not our.
They want to go war for war against America, right? They put 84%, Trump was 125%. Insane. Where we buy more from them than reverse. So what are we negotiating? What fear are they trying to put in the American president? It is not working. And I want to see what happens next, because now they're talking about China suing America for doing this, for putting 125% tariff. That's like doubling the price on any Chinese goods. I mean, we're going to be a rich country. I got to say, Trump is doing the right thing. That's how you negotiate at any level. Be tough and stick to your guns. It only makes sense.
Our friends. This was a trap, and China walked right into it.
This was his strategy all along, and that you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves to the world to be the bad actors, and we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
A trapped rat lashes out. So we have to manage the death of China so that we don't get sick. China's embarrassed about being so isolated, so we have to throw him a great funeral and tell him it's a birthday party.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that.
It's nice to have not a politician in office, but a businessman in office. And it's exactly what we needed. Somebody who doesn't care about sympathy or suicidal sympathy. That is when you are feeling so bad for the other person that you're willing to take a hit to help them. Right now, you got the legacy media doing videos and talking about how sad it is and how bad it is for the Chinese and what we're doing to them. But always forgetting, what are you doing to America? How is it helping us? How is it making the country stronger, the country better? They don't talk about that. It's like they feel they're in a plateau, they're doing great, they're riding high, and just feel bad for everybody else. And that's where suicidal sympathy comes from. I am so glad that I get to live in an era where we have a businessman running the country who brought in all these billionaires to make decisions, who brought in all these strong suited people who know how to talk into a camera and let the people understand what's happening. This is business. This is how business work at all level, including political level. So going up against every country, 75 countries already called, sending people in to negotiate, that's what I'm talking about. Consider yourself great, and greatness things will happen, or greatness will happen. Let's keep listening.
The rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said.
This is where all the money is. You know, personally speaking, I had a lot of people cut me off and try to like not deal with me. And I'm thinking, I got all the money. Why are you not dealing with me? How is that my loss? How is America losing in this business? If you don't want to deal with America, America has all the cards, has all the money. Is it really America's lost? So I think we need to start thinking about it that way. On a personal level, I look at it that way. Whoever doesn't want to deal with me, sure, keep it moving. Is not my loss. Because when you have a lot of money, you could buy your services from somebody else. Somebody who wants to negotiate with you. Somebody who wants to deal with you. Now there's going to be a group of people to try to make you feel bad and say things like, what you're doing is horrible. It's not right. You just cut them off. Let them keep talking. And you don't listen to them. You don't listen to that inner voice that's telling you to just commit suicide. But listen to the positive voice in your head that says, yo, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. They don't know what they're talking about. You know, so the legacy media are losing all credibility. They want us to feel bad about the Venezuelan gangs, members that are being deported. They want us to make us feel bad about China prices being doubled. And thank God we have a politician who's actually a businessman who doesn't feel bad about making money, about being great, about teaching the rest of the country. Because you know, when you're a politician, you're actually not just running the country, but you're teaching others how you need to be strong, how you need to advocate for yourself. And it may sound corny, but it's true. I got so many people just reaching out and trying to make me feel bad about helping them. But sacrifice yourself to make them happy, to make them look good, you know, to make them prosperous. And those days are over. So I am glad we all get to see this from Trump. You need to make yourself great. And if you got a chance to make yourself even better, go for it. You know, don't walk backwards and say it's for the good of somebody else. When at the end of the day, businesses take care of business. They take care of themselves first. And now we got Trump at the White House taking care of the country first. You know? Ultimately, also getting rid of regulations. Regulation is the government telling you what you can and cannot do. Putting all these rules up against you that shouldn't be there. And shouldn't be there on a human level. Like the Board of Education, Trump getting rid of the Board of Education. Why is it there at the federal level? Why is there a Board of Education at that level? It shouldn't be there. So let the parents, the states have more of a say. You know, no other politicians could have done it because other politicians were getting paid to just ride with the Board of Ed. But those days are over. All right, let's watch a little more. I'll keep talking.
and choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
After unleashing a pandemic and now this, China's not in a position to play hardball, and they'll have to sign something to ease the pain, or else they won't last long in the New World Order.
A deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody.
There you go. Just be fair, right? When we deal, I want to hear you say the other party, the other person, how is this deal going to benefit me? Let's be fair. And you know what? As a public figure, as a politician, using words that people don't understand is great. That's what needed to happen. So using the exact words that everybody needs to hear. Not that we want to be rich, not that we want to be millionaires, but we want to play fair. That's universal right there.
But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that.
We made
So China was becoming billionaires and millionaires based off of us. And we were just letting it slide. Like, yeah, they need help. Yeah, let's help them out. But let's hurt ourselves. What the hell?
China, and we can break them. The consensus over there is their economy is already having a heart seizure, slowly grinding downwards. The only way they survive is selling products to us. So America has the power to set the terms. Every country around the world is moving production out of there, and they know it. If China had played fair for the last 4 decades, they would have built up a little goodwill. But they're a predatory power trying to wipe us off the map. And Mr. Wonderful isn't feeling so wonderful.
I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it and sell it back here. I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. America is the #1 economy on earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall.
You know what? I am glad CNN let this man talk like this. Talk up against China and what we're up against. That is weird that they allowed this to happen. Because at the end of the day, it is so true what this man is saying. All right? Xi, the president of China, does got to come in and does got to improve conversation and talk about how whatever deal it is going to help both countries. Let's be fair. All right? This is the man that worked by the rules, following all the rules. But when you're up against a country that doesn't follow the rules, they make the rule as they go. Why? Why are we putting ourselves in a losing position?
Well, that's a graphic image, and it's starting to happen. Chinese cargo ships are turning around in the middle of the Pacific. You know what else is in those cargo ships? Fentanyl. Send it back. There's nowhere for their cargo to go with 125% tariff. If you bought furniture from China after it got slapped on, you're paying double. And now the move is to buy American. The Amish make great stuff. Or less expensive furniture from another country, but not China. Remember how Reagan crushed the Soviet Union? He used economic force and military spending to break them into pieces. Trump has an opportunity to do the exact same thing here in China. It's what everybody has always wanted.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts. So just be cool. It's going to work out.
And it's not just having a president that has guts to do it. You got to think. These people must have been making millions from other countries, paying them off, telling them to shut up, telling them to take that deal off the table. Think about it. If you go into politics, everybody knows that government jobs do not pay as well as private sector jobs. So in order to get paid a lot of money is to take in funds from all these companies or countries that want to deal with America, and they want a deal that favors them. So that makes sense. And we're talking about Donald Trump, a guy who doesn't need money. And it's hard to say that anybody doesn't need money, but we're talking about a billionaire. When you're at that level, that's it. Money just comes in. So technically, you cannot convince a person into a deal with money. It's not enough. So all the politicians that said they were going to go tough on China, most likely they got paid off. It only makes sense to get paid off. These are now millionaire politicians. How can you be a multi-millionaire politician and politics is all you've done on your life? It only makes sense that they're making money from all these deals, from lobbyists. They get lobbied and they get paid off. All right.
It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. It's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think, it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it, and people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before.
Trump.
So when it comes to politics, it's all about messaging. And look at him using the right words for people to understand that we're working towards greatness, making this country great, all right? Making it great and better for everybody in it. Forget about the high-level people, the owners and the college graduates and all of them. They're going to do great regardless. But what about the bottom 50%? What about the day-to-day people? Who is helping us? It's amazing, again, that we live in this era with Donald Trump, who really understand that the people got him elected. The people got him the billions. So flipping it, he's now helping the people, which doesn't even sound right because everybody knows that politicians don't really help. But it's amazing that Trump is actually really helping. Prove me wrong.
Trump has the cards and he's telling everyone, be cool. JP Morgan, the CEO, Jamie Dimon, he's cool.
Trade deals are very large and very complex. They can't be done overnight, but you really have to have teams working them to get them right. I'm taking a calm view, but I think it could get worse if we don't make some progress here. Let them settle down, take a deep breath, negotiate some trade deals. That's the best thing they can do.
Money managers on Wall Street are finally starting to cool off.
We needed to reset our trade policy. The U.S. is the second freest trading market in the world financially after Japan, and is the freest trading market in the world considering non-tariff barriers. Why is that written in stone? Why shouldn't we be the 10th or the 20th? The policies that have been in place since the end of World War II are not fit for today.
It makes sense. Democrats want to do nothing on trade. They're stuck in the past. They think we're living in Nazi Germany. Before today,
so many things in politics are stuck in the past. I mean, listen to Elon Musk when he says that we were putting papers in caves from 1950 or 1955. That's insane that we were still doing that, having computers, getting everything digitally or digitized. You know, even the money market, they're using old computers to transaction money from point A to point B. We live in an era that we have AI and we got the latest computers, but yet politicians are not improving whatever they're doing. They're stuck in the past. And it only makes sense that they're stuck in the past because you got to say they're taking money. You know, they know how to rig the system. It's a system that they understand. And so they move forward with it. Nobody's going to move into a new system that these young people know. You know, when you got these old politicians working the system.
Today's record rally, Democrats were screaming, who's going to make my Nikes?
Let's pretend for a moment the sneakers are going to get made here in the United States. Who's going to work in those factories? It's one of the reasons we have such a need for immigrants in this country because Americans aren't willing to take the lowest skilled jobs.
She's right. We don't have.
What is she trying to say? We need immigrants. Obviously, she's not mentioning illegal immigrants. She didn't say the word illegal, but we want immigrants so they could take the low skilled job. Is that what it is? Like, she forgets that Americans, regular Americans, they start at the bottom. You know, we start learning how to work a 9 to 5, how to put in the work so they could do the work. Everybody needs an income. So working at a factory is a start. Better than zero, better than living off your mother or your father giving you an allowance. So these factory jobs, they could be done in America. It's a great start.
Sweatshops here. You might pay more for Nikes, unless we make them in Vietnam or Greenland. And Chris Matthews is worried about wood.
What are we going to do? Have more lumber made in the United States now? What is our plan now? Are we going to make more wood in this country because of our trade deal? I don't think so.
Wood grows on trees, Chris. Get out of Manhattan. The United States produces the most lumber in the whole world. Now that Trump's giving the world a 90-day tariff hiatus to cut America first trade deals, Democrats want to know, what did you know and when did you know it?
WTF? Who's in charge?
The President of the United States is.
Look how this guy is talking. Who talks like this? WTF? What the fuck? Like, is that what you really want to say? You sound ignorant. You make everybody look bad. It makes me wonder, what school did you go to? Like, really, you couldn't just express yourself tough, like just be mad, be angry, but using greater good words or using American words, English. My man is using acronyms. WTF? This is the world stage, man. You on TV, talk like you understand, or like you got some common sense. Again, this man sounds ignorant as hell. You know what? He's probably a DEI hire.
In charge.
If you came here knowing that you were going to be turned off, that these tariffs were going to be turned off, why didn't you include that in your opening statement? Why didn't you reference that as part of your testimony?
Well, I don't disclose my conversations with the president, sir.
If it's not market manipulation, what is it? Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got?
Like, this guy's not benefiting. He sounds like he broke. Like he ain't get $1 off of that deal. That's when you know you're mad. When you ain't getting no money and everybody else is making money. Except for you. So this Democrat right here got issues.
Richer. WTF?
Adam Schiff wants Trump investigated for dropping tariffs. The exact thing Schiff demanded he do.
I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs. And are people cashing in? There is just all too much opportunity.
It really feels like this guy used to cash in. You know, when politics pass the laws and they do things that benefit to them and they know what's coming, right? When to buy stocks, when to sell stocks. That's a big money maker. And now Trump didn't tell a soul, didn't tell anybody, and it's just making decisions. And look at them flipping out.
For people in the White House and the administration to be insider trading.
Insider trading, that's funny. At 9, Trump said it was a great time to buy, and the market rallied after the tariff pause. How much you want to bet Nancy made a killing? Paulie P's not a panicking. Schiff's a panicking. And you can't trust the panicking.
The shrill voices that you're hearing this week about tariffs are the same scoundrels and frauds who never thought twice about when the United States lost 90,000 factories and plants. Think of that, 90,000. The same people now telling me about how to deal with China are the ones who sold out America for decades to China.
Yep.
I'm proud to be the president for the workers, not the outsourcers. The president who stands up for Main Street, not Wall Street.
So many companies sent their factories overseas. Think about it. In America, we got what? We got rules. In America, we got minimum wage. You can only pay people at a bottom certain amount. But if you send your factory to like China, you could pay people $1 per hour, 50 cents per hour. You know, I got family that live in the Dominican Republic. In the Dominican Republic, there is no minimum wage. So you got people making 30 cents an hour. And they better shut up. One complaining, you're fired. Period. In DR, only politicians make money. That's it. Being a politician is the highest paid job there is. Politicians and the owners of factories and car dealerships, that's it. Those are the people making money in the Dominican Republic. Everybody else, you're making 30 cents an hour. So a lot of businesses in America say, hey, let me go somewhere else because America got minimum wage. Not dealing with minimum wage, they exported all their jobs. And look at Trump. Trump is insane. Bringing back all the factories.
Protects the middle class, not the political class, and who defends America, not trade cheaters.
This is a test for everybody. Are you for cheap slave labor in China? A country that gets really rich, taking our money, and then just sends us viruses, drugs, and spies, and steals our factories, spirit, and lives? Or are you for the U.S. and the rest of our trading allies, who are all just looking for a good bargain and don't want to die doing it? Wall Street's, they're starting to get it. Economic patriotism is in the air.
For too long, financial policy has served large financial institutions at the expense of smaller ones.
And look at this guy. Again, a billionaire. We got a billionaire working for the government. He could care less, I bet you. Whatever salary he's making working at the government, he already got that money. So he's doing it for the right reasons, in my opinion, right? Typically, people take a job, there's a nice fixed salary, and you're going to get a nice pension. But these are a lot of people that took this job when they don't really need it. If you think about it, if you're a multi-billionaire, like this guy here, like Donald Trump, it got to be like other reasons, like you're helping, which people don't want to admit it, but it's helping. Otherwise, it could just jump out.
No more. No more. For the next 4 years, the Trump agenda is focused on Main Street. It's Main Street's turn. It's Main Street's turn to hire workers. It's Main Street's turn to drive investment. And it's Main Street's turn to restore the American dream.
Trump was
like, what do they win out of that? A lot of people think like that. What money are they making by helping Main Street or Main Street? What money can they possibly be grabbing? As a businessman, all these businessmen, that comes to mind. They gotta be making money on the low in front of our eyes, putting a wool over our faces. And then reality sets in. No, the Democrats are the ones putting a wool over our eyes, trying to destroy this country little by little, sending all the factory jobs overseas, making everybody more poor and more poor, because the top leaders making the money, they could care less about the bottom, because if they got their money, that's it. Infinite money is at the top, while those of us at the bottom are hurting. And it's country destroying tactics. So thank God that Elon Musk sees it, the Treasury Secretary sees it, Donald Trump sees it. It's going to destroy the country. And if we destroy the country, it's a worst case scenario, because then we got to start fresh from the beginning. And who knows what the beginning looks like, but just a bunch of savages.
Elected to restore the American dream. And for many Americans, it's been dead for decades. It might be scary for the other half of the country who made it to watch Trump wrestle it back to life for those who haven't yet. The president is just trying to give every American an opportunity to be great, because we're all in this together.
Look, there are a lot of countries do a lot of things well, but there's no country with quite the innovation we have, quite the capabilities. To me, we have this unbelievable position energy. Is unbelievable. Our financial services, we have the best financial markets in the world. I'm talking about all of it: capital markets, hedge funds, private equity, investors. And
we got the best, smartest people. Ain't nobody leaving the country. You know, a lot of people got deported. I got family that got deported without their consent. Like, broke the law, get out of here. But those in America, we got the smartest and the brightest and the best. Who wants to walk away from that? Think about that. We got nothing but the best.
It is part of the flywheel that creates all this innovation you see. And you don't just see it in New York, you see it in Silicon Valley, but you see it in St. Louis, in Kansas, in Austin, in Nashville. And so, this country is unbelievable.
Innovation isn't possible when China steals our jobs and takes our trade secrets and then just ships us poison and shoddy products. It's like playing golf with a guy who lies about his handicap, and he keeps beating you and beating you and beating you. Are you just going to let him lie and take your money? No, you say no. You hit him in the head with a wedge and you never play him again.
Yep.
Sometimes you just have to trust your gut and do the right thing. And it's not over yet, but it looks like it's going in the right direction.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And you know what I'm doing too. That's why you vote for me.
Trump is a grown-ass man. And that's why we need somebody at the top who knows what they're doing. Like, a lot of people are happy that he's on board doing all these things, but they're just quiet about it and not talking about it. The fact that we got a president that knows exactly what he's doing, understands market, all right? Got everybody negotiating against America like they're supposed to. Why are we giving anybody a free ride? Why are we giving anybody free money? No. Business, deal with it, negotiate, and let's get moving. Again, Uncle Trump.
The host of Making Money, Charles Payne, is here. All right, Charles, were you a panicking? You were a little bit of a panicking, weren't you? Were you?
Nah, no way, my man. No way at all. I told her, listen, we did some buying, a little bit of buying the last few days, but more importantly, I told people not to panic. Every single day on my show, our ratings have gone through the roof because people are coming to see. I'm like one of the few people out there, and it's not just I'm saying don't panic. I'm showing historical facts, right? What's going on, what's happening here. And I love everything that you just said, because this is about Main Street. Wall Street's going to get theirs. Anyone out there that doesn't think eventually Wall Street and the stock market will turn around, haven't been paying attention for the last 3 years, 30 years, or 300 years. Don't worry about that part. It's time to start focusing on regular folks.
So when the people on CNBC, they call them your competitor, but no one watches them. They all watch you, Charles. When they panic and their all eyeballs are popping out of their skulls and laying on the desk, it freaks everybody out. I wake up, I turn on CNBC to just check it out, see what it's doing. And it's like watching someone die on live television.
Now, the only thing is, I didn't sell, right? I held on to it because hopefully eventually the money comes back and the stock is worth a little more. The only thing I do regret is not buying when stocks went down so low, it's a buying opportunity. So I'm thinking, damn it, I missed it. Now I gotta wait for the next slump, the next bad thing that happened, and just buy with no fear. Because a lot of times, when you buy a stock and what it does after you buy it, it keeps going down, down, down. And the more you buy, the more or the faster it goes down. And for the first time, we're seeing that it went down and then Trump made the announcement and it went back up. Once in a lifetime deal.
It is so infuriating to me because I think it's journalistic malpractice, and I'll tell you why. Those are smart people. They know the market as well. And this sort of thing, like, anyone who panicked and sold NVIDIA 3 days ago, don't they regret it deeply already today?
Yep.
And here's the thing, Jesse, we've got two sets of data out there. One they call soft data, the surveys. And the surveys are really frightening. Of course they're frightening. People watch TV and get frightened 24 hours a day. You walk up to them with a clipboard and say, how do you feel? I'm scared. But after they tell you they're scared, they go into the store. You know what happened this morning before the tariff stuff? Delta reported earnings. Phenomenal. You know what else we learned? Last week, mortgage applications to buy new homes up 20%. So people are still living their lives and trying to have the American dream. And, so as mortgage rates come down, as gasoline prices go down, that's great for the economy. But so people are afraid, but they're living their lives.
So people call you a callous animal if you tell them not to panic. They say, if you say don't look at your 401k, don't look at your bank account, they say, what are you talking? How could you not look at my bank account? How could you say that? I've just lost, $7 million, $20 million. How could you say that, Jesse? Am I wrong to tell people not to panic?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I said yesterday? I said, this is my 7th bear market as a Wall Street professional, and I hope I have 7 more. That means I'll live to 100 because they come around every 5 or 6 years. Corrections come around once a year. It's part of the game. Stay in it. The richest people in the world are in the stock market. And by the way, it's democratic. Anyone can get in. Don't let them spook you out. One of the reasons Wall Street was bearish coming into the year, because too many retail investors were long. That's their thinking. The retail investors are in the stock market. They're too exuberant. We've got to find a way to shake them out because, they want you in the market as long as you're paying fees to them.
Well, I don't know enough about it the way you know about it, but I've seen enough to know that it goes up and down and you can't panic and you can't sell. You just got to play the long game. Charles,
you know why? Because you look around and guess what? One day again, we'll be at an all-time high. You'll say, golly, I shouldn't have sold.
That's right. And then I'll cash out and I'll retire at age 100. Thanks a lot, Charles. Good to see you.
I once bought stocks when I learned about how to do it, how to buy stocks and sell and actually make money. And I actually ended up selling and making $10,000. But then I'm like, damn it, the stock is actually more expensive now. So I would have made more money had I hold on to it. But it was one of those emergencies where I needed the money. And the stock market is a gamble. But if you know what you're doing or you read a little bit about it, it's a gamble where you can make a lot of money. But there you have it. The number one gambler, Donald Trump, know what he's doing, making business deals, and just making things great for the country. And he don't even have 3 months in office yet. Well, we're in April. He got in January, February, March, April. The man is about to hit 3 months in office. Oh, wait, today's the 10th. By the way, if you're watching, thank you for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'm trying to now make this a habit to come down and every day record, show you a little bit of the news of what's going on. And this is Jesse Waters Primetime, talking about what's going on out there.
Kristi Noem gets in a scrap with an illegal. She's here next.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there. But yeah, we're living in a tough situation where Trump is making us take our medicine. It hurts. We're not running right away after taking the medicine. But he's just saying, don't worry, calm down. Things are going to get better. And with this medicine, you're only going to get better and stronger. I think it's a good message, man. The man knows how to message to people, to regular people, plain English, not these complicated business deals that goes above people's head. But the idea that he's doing what's making America great. Be patient, let things simmer in. All right, let me just. By the way, my name is Noel. Here, trying to record every day. Money is an issue. By the way, I'm going over a divorce. My brother told me not to talk about it, but I am going through a divorce. It is what it is. I married a foreigner who's trying to get as much money as possible from me. And you know what I did? I got myself a job and I went to work every day, enough to put together, excuse me, enough to put together retirement. And now that I'm retired, I'm using that money that I put together. And I think it's easy to do when you don't have any what's it called? Bad habits. Not into drugs, not into spending all your money, giving your money away to women or men, whatever it is. If you got a mentality of just saving for a family, for the future, for life, you end up saving a lot of money. And now here I am with a lot of money saved, just trying to make decisions that help my son. I got a son and his mother. His mother is the only thing that I worry about right now, taking care of her, making sure she's okay, and making sure that my son is okay. And then my ex-wife, May 15th, is when I'm going to be officially divorced. I can't wait for that day. Definitely going to throw a party. The best day of my life. And then hopefully getting married in July. This sounds crazy, right? So that's going to be a first. How do you get divorced in May and married in July? And the only way it's going to happen if God is on my side. So I'm losing my voice here. What time is it? So I've been on it for 40 minutes. If you're still watching, again, give it a thumbs up. Let's try to get the voices out there. Today is Thursday, May 10th. On Sunday, April 13th, my YouTube strike is going to go away. I got 2 strikes, and I got it for running the Jesse Waters Primetime videos. I'm trying to see how is it that these YouTubers are able to play a video, react to it, and they don't get a strike, right? I'm thinking they comment a lot, so I'm trying to comment a lot, so then I don't earn myself a strike. I'm putting this video on a new YouTube channel that I got. Let's see if I earn a strike out of it. I opened up a new a new YouTube called Doge, like Elon Musk. Doge Tech Support is the name of the channel. I'm thinking it got 3 subscribers, which is me, and me. Let's see after this video I get more subscribers. One of the tricks in life is, you know what? You come up with an idea, implement it, try it out. Even though you got a bunch of hater friends, I got a lot of hater family and friends that just tell me that's not going to work. You're stupid. It ain't going to work. But yet, you can't talk about their idea. They're like the smart ones. So what did I do? I said, okay, you know what? It is a dumb idea, but I'm going to implement it anyway. But this time, I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm not even going to talk about it or celebrate it. I'm just going to live it. This YouTube channel, I'm living it. I'm doing it. I'm learning how to speak into a camera, which is very difficult. Putting my ideas out there, hoping to get criticized. Ain't nobody criticizing yet. Ain't nobody commenting or giving a thumbs up or down. But it's not going to stop me. The goal is to just give it a try. And let the people who criticize, which is family, maybe close friends. Actually, my college friends turn out to be the best friends. If I meet a new guy friend or a new friend on earth, they end up being way better than family. Most families want you to fail, or they don't want you to do better than them. It's a problem when you're doing better than them. Like we grew up in the same household, same environment, same building, but yet you end up getting arrested, deported, or just not doing well. And then when you see somebody else doing well, it makes you upset. What? That's crazy. But it makes sense. You know, jealousy and envious, it always been there, part of humanity, part of life. And then here I am, I'm thinking, let me try to help them out. But that doesn't work. Don't do that. Don't help anybody. Like, help yourself out. I have a son. I help my son out. His mother, she needs help. Let's help her out. And that's it. Everybody else, good luck in your venture or whatever alley you choose to go through. Because some people, they see the system and all they want to do is be a bad sheep. Do things their way, no rules, no holds bars. And that just doesn't work. Even when you tell them that's not going to work, you might get arrested. That's not going to work. People could see through what you're doing. And like, were people able to see with what I was doing? You know what I was doing? I was just getting up and going to work. That's it. I picked up a job where normally people get a break, like a lunch break, like a resting break. I remember when I was working, I said, you know what? Forget breaks. You get paid overtime when you work through lunch. You get paid overtime when you work through your breaks. So I used to work from 9 to 5 straight, no breaks. I was fine. I didn't understand how other people couldn't do the same, but other people were smart. Other people were way smarter than me. So I'm like, I took the dumb approach. I said, you know what? I'm going to work from 9 to 5 straight, no breaks. I'll take a break when I retire. Now that I'm retired, my Social Security check is way better because I work so much. I put in so many hours, and now the money's coming back to me. So in a way, without me really thinking or planning it out, it worked out. All I did was work. So when you put in the work and you don't have that mindset of just spending money on women, trying to impress women. I mean, I think I did it once. I got married, like my current marriage. All she's doing right now is just trying to take as much money as possible from me. Like in retirement, I bought myself a Tesla Model Y. And that was the first thing she took in the divorce and just drove away with it. But I'm thinking, you know what? Enjoy. I'll get another one. You know what I'll do? It's called saving. I can save money. I don't got by habit. My only habit is helping my son and helping myself. You know the great things about boys? Boys are inexpensive. They really don't cost much. No, I don't want to hear it. I know for a fact boys don't cost much. I was a boy. My son is a boy. I spent little to no money maintaining his lifestyle. I'm still waiting for him to say he wants new shoes. That doesn't happen. I'm waiting for him to say he wants new clothes. You know, it takes time. Whereas my ex-wife used to buy new shoes like every week. New clothes, like huge closet full of clothes. I'm like, when are you going to wear all of this? Insane. And like, God blessed me and we didn't have any children. So she got to go with no kids. No, all I can say is, you know what? Good luck. You're going to find yourself a husband and have a kid with somebody else. That actually helps me out financially. Hopefully, I don't got to pay alimony. We were only married for 6 years. So if I don't got to pay alimony, that's a blessing. So I believe in God. God hopefully going to put his hand and not make me pay alimony. And that's it. Not wishing anybody any wrong or any bad. Today is Thursday. My brother's supposed to come and help me. One of my biggest problems is lifting heavy things up. I'm decorating the house. I got some posters I want to post all over the house. And my brother said he's going to come today to help me. But, for example, if my brother doesn't come, it's cool. You know what? I got patience. I'll just wait. I'll tell him to come next week or whenever he can. No rush. And that's the nice thing about life and not living a life of just doing everything quickly and making sure to do everything. I'm making sure to do everything when I get around to it. All right? When I get a chance. It is what it is. No reason to get upset because being upset just brings up anxiety and unnecessary hurting yourself. So let just life happen. Now, with Jesse Waters Primetime, I really wanted to do a show where I get to take a look at a video and react. Let me see what he was going to talk about next.
Trump's making America safe again, and that starts with securing our southern border. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel popped up in Florida today, along with about a half.
Let me pause him. Oh, yeah, by the way, the man went to Florida. Let me put it over here, the video. Oh, no, I can't. Let me try like this. They went to Florida and they seized $500 billion of cocaine. $500 billion of cocaine. That's 500 million, oh no, $500 billion of cocaine. Like, what's going to happen with all that cocaine? You know, back in the days, I used to think they're just going to take all those drugs and share it between them, because that's a lot of cocaine. So they went over to Florida and seized that. So that means there's a cartel that took a loss of $500 billion. Not only that, but if the cocaine was $500 billion, when they mix it up, the actual value could be 5 times more than that. Wow, that's a lot of money. Countries make that in a whole year.
$1 billion worth of seized narcotics.
This is a textbook example of the Justice Department supporting the fight against violent crime. We believe 2 cartels, CJ&G and Sinaloa, were heavily tied to these shipments. This is a major blow to their financial operations and their efforts to distribute drugs throughout our country.
That's insane how much money they just caught. It says 500 million in drug bust. Wait, is it 500 million or 500 billions?
As Attorney General Bondi said, we are going to lock them up. They are no longer going to be free to roam. We are going to dismantle the next man up theory that has been breeding in these Mexican cartels for generations. No more.
Joe Biden left America's back door wide open for traffickers and illegals. Trump fixed it overnight. Makes you realize Democrats did it on purpose.
We're going to prove that all of their treasonous years of betrayal will not be forgotten, because it's treason. What they did is treason. When they allowed millions of people to pour in through open borders from all over the world, they came. To me, that's treason. What they've done to our country is unthinkable.
Homeland Security.
Again, thank God we got a business guy running the country, not a politician. Politician which is destroying this country to better their wallet. Because that's all we could think about. Why would anybody do this? Why would anybody try to destroy America? Right? It got to be the money. It got to be because they're thinking, okay, I'm alive through this era. We all only get 100 years. Let me get as much money as possible. Because after I get my money, I don't care about the rest of the world. Just thinking logically as a human being.
Secretary Kristi Noem's lacing up her boots and icing bangers.
Here we are with Marco and Brian today. They're letting me roll with them. We're going to go out and pick up somebody who I think is got charges of human trafficking. Earlier had an op that swept up somebody who was wanted for murder. So appreciate the good work that they do every day, and we appreciate them working.
You know, it makes me think, who would have her job? Who was doing her job before she came into office? Right? How come we never saw this when Biden was in office? I mean, she looks soft right there. But how come we never saw anybody do this type of video? What was going on?
The first migrant she iced tried to crock her in the face. Watch.
Listen here. Do you have family? Sir, do you have family? Escobar? You have family?
Let's go.
We'll go. We'll go. You're going to go. You're going to go home. And you're going to get prosecuted.
Then the Noem squad.
Like, this is great video to intimidate anybody else of thinking of becoming a criminal. You know, this is amazing video. Just the fact that other people are looking at this video should definitely convince them that going this route doesn't work. This is the worst idea to go up against the government. And man, all it makes me think is, where were the people when Biden was in office? How come they weren't doing this?
Nabbed another migrant and gave him some words of wisdom.
Yeah? How long have you been here?
I just got back like almost 2 years ago.
Why'd you come back?
There's no work over there in TJ.
No work over there?
And then I was having problems,
You know, he speaks English pretty well. I'll say that much. So that means he's been here for a while, a long time.
They know that my kids were over here from over here.
How many kids?
I have 3 kids.
Okay. And do you want them to grow up and be in the 18th straight gang too?
Nah, they're not. I got them going to high school right
You
here.
want them to be good kids?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. That's why we're construction for them.
Go deal with the consequences of breaking the law here.
Yeah.
Give them a good example of being a better person. Okay. Thank you, sir.
See, that's a good guy. He's saying, yeah, I know. But man, nobody could have sat him down and told them how to become legal, how to become a resident, how to become a citizen. Oh, man, this is horrible. Because that guy actually looks like a good guy in terms of just having a real conversation, taking onus or taking ownership for being bad.
Remember Mayorkas in the men's store? Homeland Security Secretary, he was a shopaholic. Mayorkas was at the mall while Noam's defending the wall. Noam's busting gangbangers in tactical gear while her predecessor's shopping in Georgetown, wondering if his $200 chinos make him look fat.
Also, was Mayorkas the guy who had that job, and he was the worst. My man had all the border open, all the criminals coming in.
And yeah, they do. Kristi Noem did more to protect Americans in one ICE raid than Biden did in 4 years. And now she's relaunching the Office for Victims of Immigrant Crime, which Biden shut down. But Democrats don't care that Trump's trying to protect us. They think illegals make us safer.
When immigrant communities know that calling 911 won't result in deportation for themselves or a family member, they are actually more willing to report and help law enforcement solve crimes, which makes all of us safer.
How can she talk like that? How can anybody really take a look at Democrats and say that they're doing the right thing? Like illegal families calling the cops, the whole family needs to be deported. They're illegal. They're criminals, period. And again, that suicidal sympathy, that's all they do. Try to judge people's suicidal sympathy so people feel bad. But we got to let go.
Democrats don't care about you. They only care about illegals. And now, CNN sending reporters to El Salvador to hound the prison director.
Garcia says many here have been convicted, but others are still going through the judicial process. And when we ask, he does allow us to sit in on what appears to be court hearings underway.
I hear you when you say that there are people who have done horrible things, but is it possible that there are people who are innocent as well in here?
Toda la gente que está acá. Garcia claims every person in Secot is an active member of a terrorist organization.
And you're confident that that's the case?
That's correct.
You know, that would be funny if that guy goes to American prison talking about, are you confident that everybody here is a criminal? That is the dumbest question on earth. Like, these are the toughest guys on the planet. All right? They do what they feel like and they do what they want. Period. So they need to be put in prison. It is difficult to run a country or to run a town, a city, anywhere with these human beings that do whatever they want. No rules for them. So to have this reporter go into prison asking dumb questions, get out of here. Go back to America. Try that in America.
Does CNN go to American prisons and hound the warden about maybe someone here is innocent? The hell was that? Trump's going to protect you, even Alejandro, whether they like it or not. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem joins us now. All right, Secretary, do you get a crock to the face in every ICE raid?
No, that was interesting. But, you know, certainly not a scary situation. The guy was in handcuffs. ICE had already detained him. But yeah, he was getting aggressive with us. So, you know, this is the situation. As we've seen over the last several weeks, violence against our ICE officials and law enforcement officers has gone up 300% because these individuals that are part of these gangs are getting caught, they're being held to consequences, and they're activating their friends against our law enforcement. So I just got a little taste of it, but boy, our law enforcement faces this kind of attacks every single day.
I saw at one point you had a little heart-to-heart with the guy in handcuffs in the back of the car. When you're talking to these illegals after they've been apprehended, what's that conversation usually like?
Well, you know, for me, I want to find out when they came into the country, how many times they came into the country. Obviously, you already have that as a part of the work that we've done to build the case. But it's always interesting to hear their thought process and their conversation. This guy was really original with claiming that he wanted to come back for his kids, that he had 3 kids. And then he's a part of the 18th Street gang, and he's perpetuating violence in our communities. So I just reminded him that those kids needed an example. Go home, deal with the consequences of what you did, and then be a better person. And that's what all of us try to do. But that guy, boy, he had been charged with serious crimes, victimizing people, trafficking, and then he's out there saying that he...
Like I said earlier, he seems like a nice guy, but he was doing whatever he wanted to, whatever came to mind, running the streets, being a criminal about it. Look at all the charges she's talking about. You know, not making things up. She's probably right.
He wanted to be with his kids.
You know, the media keeps saying, Secretary, oh my gosh, you're icing priests, you're icing moms, and oh, this guy, you know, he bakes cookies for Sunday schools. What are we doing here? Is any of that true?
No, Jesse, we're going after the worst of the worst, and those with final removal orders. And I just would remind everybody, you know, that we don't pick and choose who the law applies to. You know, we're just enforcing the laws of this country. We're going out there and making our communities safer. So the scales of justice have been balanced and even under President Trump. And I'm just so grateful that he's allowing us to go out there and just enforce the laws. There should be consequences when you do something out there that hurts an American, and that American citizens get to come first. That did not happen under the Biden administration. And it's shocking to me the amount of violent criminals that are in this country that we now have to remove. And many of them, we have to go out and pick them up by force because they want to stay there and continue to victimize people.
Yeah, now some critics are saying, you know, you look too glamorous when you're wandering through these mega prisons, or, you know, you shouldn't be all tacked out posing for cameras. What do you say to those people?
Well, Jesse, every day I wake up and there's new criticisms. It's something different every single day. So I try not to pay attention to the noise. Obviously, I'm guided by the folks that I work with every day to be appropriate for the situation that I'm in and to take the same precautions that they do. And I will tell you that I oversee 26 different components of the Department of Homeland Security. And they are so proud of the fact that I'm willing to wear an ICE hat, that I'm willing to wear an HSI vest, that I'm willing to go, you know, into their and wear something and be proud of them and the work that they do. They didn't have that with the last leadership team. They were ashamed of them, didn't let them do their
He wore
job.
Sid Mashburn. That's what he wore. All right, Secretary, thank you so much. Stay safe and keep up the great work.
This is such a difference from the previous administration. Like when Yorgos was doing none of this, no videos, no visitations. What she's doing is on another level. We got to point it out.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jesse. Talk to you.
An author of a Biden tell-all book is here, and he has some dirt on Dr. Jill.
All right, so a lot of people are now telling all. A lot of people are now mentioning how they knew there was something wrong with Biden, but nobody said anything because that was the previous culture. You know what? We all got to live through that culture, the cancel culture. The fact that if you go up against a narrative, you could get canceled. So therefore, you got to keep your mouth shut. I remember just staying shut at work with everything they were doing with LGBTQ plus, and there's more than just men and women and all the others ideas. I just, you know what? I keep my head down, keep my mouth shut. You know what? I'm just here to do my work, put in my 9 to 5, and keep it moving. I could care less about everything else. I'm not here to change anybody's mind. So with Biden, I think that was the problem. Nobody wanted to get canceled. Everybody kept their mouth shut. And it sucks that the media kept their mouth shut. I think that really goes to show that the media is a psyop. That works. All right? They send out a message, they send out a narrative, and we buy into it. Because I'll say this much. I don't believe racism exists in America. It's over. Those days are over. All right? You can be whatever color, whatever color, nationality, and you can succeed. It's all about the amount of work you put into it. In this channel, my name is Noel. If you're still watching, give this video a thumbs up. And I will succeed in this channel. Simple enough because I put in the work. Now, I'm going to check my other YouTube channel, see if I get a copyright claim, see if I get blocked. Hopefully I don't. But I'm all right taking a hit. If I take a hit, it is what it is. It doesn't destroy life. All right? It just means I got to move on to something else. Got to know how to take a hit to the stomach, be able to get up and keep moving forward. Now, I'm using my phone as my camera. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy me a camera. I'm going to buy me a camera to put it on here. So like that, I could stop using my phone. Because, for example, I want to make a phone call. I'm going to call I'm going to call somebody at the hospital. But I can't because I'm recording. So in order for me to make my phone call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to order myself a camera. So like that, I don't have to keep using my phone. It is what it is. You see that? A simple solution to a simple problem. I'm also going to go cook some chicken with pizza. It is what it is. If you enjoyed this video so far, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to come back and I'll see you on the next video. Peace. With that said, I'm out of here.